Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Today is the 5th of September. This is Hashed Out Daily Crypto News with Cryptopolitan, and I'm your host, Philip Cripe. Nice to have you guys with us. Nice to see you guys hopping in. We're going to go over the news today in the crypto space. We're going to start with the Prime Trust quasi-bank debacle, what it teaches the crypto industry. Hello, Sartaj Khan Eagle. Nice to have you with us. The captivating potential of the cryptocurrency sector lies in its vision of decentralized financial empowerment, liberating transactions from traditional banking norms. Yet, in the maturation process of this industry, the necessity for security and dependable links connecting the crypto realm with the established financial domain becomes increasingly evident. Enter players like Prime Trust, positioned as a crypto quasi-bank, offering custody services and enabling connectivity to conventional financial systems. However, the recent narrative involving Prime Trust has cast a somber veil over the cryptocurrency landscape. Once hailed as a bastion of trust and stability amid the tumultuous cryptocurrency landscape, Prime Trust has entered bankruptcy protection, leaving behind a trail of financial ambiguity and fractured confidence. This guide delves into the trajectory of Prime Trust, scrutinizing the pivotal role custodians undertake within the cryptocurrency ecosystem and gleaning invaluable insights from this unfolding episode. Let's look at the rise and fall. In the ever-evolving realm of cryptocurrency, Prime Trust surfaced in 2018 as a pivotal player, strategically positioned at the crossroads of digital assets and traditional financial paradigms. As a conduit between these spheres, Prime Trust took on the vital mantle of safeguarding crypto assets while seamlessly interfacing with established banking structures. Its inception marked a significant shift, responding to the pressing need for stability and credibility within the occasionally turbulent cryptocurrency ecosystem. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you're jumping in and learning about crypto. That's awesome. Always have to start somewhere. So Prime Trust became a symbol of trust for countless cryptocurrency enterprises seeking secure storage solutions for their digital holdings. The company's adeptness at facilitating links with traditional banking systems offered crypto businesses a lifeline, enabling them to transact within fiat currencies. However, Prime Trust's ascent was not devoid of hurdles. Prime Trust confronted critical junctures in an environment oscillating between optimism and skepticism. So Nevada's Financial Institutions Division made a decisive move by ruling a receivership over crypto custodian Prime Trust while freezing its operations. This maneuver came after custodian BitGo withdrew from its bid to acquire Prime Trust following a Nevada cease and desist order, hinting at Prime Trust's precarious financial position. The filing for receivership unveiled that Prime Trust owed its clients more than $85 million in fiat, with roughly $3 million in fiat currency at its disposal. So it was down $82 million as far as what it owed. Yikes. The company also shouldered a crypto debt of $69.5 million, holding $68.6 million in crypto assets. Furthermore, the filing illuminated that Prime Trust grappled with a $12 million equity deficit. Most of this deficit emanated from Prime Trust's inability to access its legacy wallets. After enlisting Fireblocks to manage its crypto assets, a process finalized in 2020, Prime Trust established legacy wallet forwarding for wallets within Fireblocks platform, or designated to forward to such wallets in 2021. However, by December 2021, Prime Trust encountered an impasse, unable to access its legacy wallets or cryptocurrencies. So, Sartaj Khan Eagle, I was going to say, if you started trading with $43 and then you lost it, and then you started learning, that taught you that first you need to learn and then you need to try things. I was going to say, try to make sure that you always have self-custody of your funds, that you're not just handing them away to somebody that's not going to take care of them for you. Especially after looking at what happened with FTX, where they allegedly took people's funds and just used them for whatever they felt like enriching themselves or political donations. It's best not to have your funds sitting in someone else's custody. So custody is something you should look into a lot. It's pretty important. Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome Sartosh Khan Eagle with us. He's learning about crypto. Hi until 12. Nice to have you with us. Yeah, no problem. It's just like I don't usually talk about this because most people don't ask, but the way I got into crypto was I was doing traditional IT sales for a bunch of IT companies because they needed someone who could speak with clients and understand them, but also understood the technical things. I was a developer, so I had that side of things already covered. And then all of a sudden, there was this huge boom in requests for crypto-related projects and blockchain projects, like people asking, "Can you build us a decentralized exchange?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Decentralized exchange for what? Are we selling pistachios?" Or I had no idea. I'd heard about Bitcoin, looked into it a little bit, wasn't sure what would come of it, and like I don't know, a long time ago. And then in 2018, 2019, started working with all these crypto projects. Within 6 months, I went from the guy who started recognizing words like Ethereum and decentralized exchanges, figuring out what they were. And within 6 months of that, I was asked to be an advisor on different crypto projects because I'd learned so much in such a short period of time. At the time, I was working like 14 hours a day. So, like, you start learning something 14 hours a day. After 6 months, you've learned. Actually, I'm going to calculate that. I've never done this, so about to discover this. So let's see, six times. How many work days are there in a week? Five. 5 times 4 times 6 times. Let's say I was working 12 hours a day. Yeah, so I put in 8,640 hours of. Most of that was in crypto related and blockchain related projects within 6 months. So I caught up with a lot of people that had been working with it for longer, and learned all kinds of aspects that developers didn't care about, and or economists didn't care about, or so kind of overlapping all these different specialties. It was fascinating because originally I studied economics and like business administration and also political science and that sort of thing. And then I moved from that to IT because I liked making websites and coding. And from there, just naturally kind of moved more into the relationship side of projects. So, like testing, tech support, operations management, project management, managing a team of developers to actually get something done, understanding what the client wanted and what the team were supposed to build, like bridging the gap between the theory and the technical side of things. That was fascinating. So that's kind of how I ended up in crypto. Yeah, it's kind of my story. I've never shared that on the show, so got me talking about it. Prime Trust's decline can be attributed to operational and financial complications that ultimately led to its inability to fulfill customer withdrawal requests and subsequent regulatory intervention. Several pivotal factors contributed to Prime Trust's downfall. Inadequate customer funds. A significant catalyst was the reported insufficiency of customer funds. Prime Trust encountered challenges meeting customer withdrawal obligations, signaling a financial deficit to accommodate its commitments. That's bad for any bank. If you have a bank run, you don't have enough funds in the bank, then you go bankrupt. All of these are, you don't have to understand crypto to understand that's not a good thing. Regulatory scrutiny. The Financial Institutions Division of the Nevada Department of Business and Industry issued a directive for Prime Trust to halt activities conflicting with state regulations. So they were doing some things that didn't follow regulations. Unsuccessful acquisition. BitGo wasn't able to, they weren't able to sell to BitGo for somebody to take them over and fix their problems. So Satoshi Kon Eagle says, "Sir, every trade this is a very risky." Um, Not every trade is risky. I mean, every trade bears some risk that you could potentially lose the funds you put into it. But if you're in the beginning, I would stick with the like this isn't investment advice, but if you're going to try some things out, I would try some of the more famous cryptocurrencies first. Stick to like I don't know the top five, top 10. Um, and I wouldn't do it to actually I wouldn't do it to invest. I would do it to test things that you can use. For example, I'd look into crypto games. I'd look into staking. I'd look into NFTs um, and different kinds of NFTs and how they work and what they're used for. I wouldn't necessarily just buy a crypto and hold on to it and hope that it goes up in value. I know a lot of people do that. That's never something I've really done. Um, I've done, like I said, I've done the games, I've done NFTs, I've done staking, I've looked into those. Not necessarily, you don't need a lot of money to try any of those out. If you look around, there are a whole bunch of different projects that are pretty cheap. There are some projects, some things you can jump into and look at. For example, I created a free account for a metaverse recently. Jumped in, played a free game on there to see what it was like, just to see kind of how it works. Somebody had to pay for the land, and somebody had to pay for the game development, and somebody also had to pay for like making all the different avatars and everything. But for me, it was free to jump in and take a look. If I ever wanted to build something, now I know what it looks like. So it's always interesting to like go in and do kind of a free test if you can, kind of like a taste test. Like you go into a store and you can get some fruit or something to taste for free, some cheese or something. It's always interesting to get a look at that and get some information before you start deciding, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that. Also, understanding the use case for different cryptocurrencies is super important before you start buying them. Because Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, completely different use cases. And Bitcoin can be used for, these are all transaction currencies, but if you look at USDT, for example, and USDC, that are stable coins, it's a completely different category. So it's important to check to see what kind of category it's in, use cases. Some countries allow certain things, some don't. There's a lot of information right now to learn before you start actually trading, I would say, if that's your goal. Yeah, just a thought. Also looking to see where you can buy certain coins in your jurisdiction. Hi, Kevin Skywalker, anonymous user E6FD7, and Atoll12. Nice to have you guys with us as well. London Stock Exchange Group takes bold step into blockchain to transform traditional asset market. The London Stock Exchange Group, LSEG, has announced plans to develop a blockchain-based platform focused on improving the efficiency of traditional asset transactions, not cryptocurrencies. The move comes as other financial institutions like SWIFT are also exploring blockchain's potential, signaling a broader shift in the financial ecosystem toward embracing this technology. So it's to enhance efficiency for stock exchange trading. That's fascinating. World's largest crypto casino, Stake.com, faces security breach. Over $15 million in suspicious outflows detected. This is why I said don't leave your funds on a platform if you can avoid it. And for staking, you would have to, right? But crypto-based betting platform Stake has been targeted in a security exploit with over $15 million in suspicious outflows detected, consisting of 6,000 Ether and $5.9 million in stablecoins. Stake has paused both deposits and withdrawals in the wake of the incident, but has yet to issue an official statement. That is strange. Wonder what's going on. It looks suspicious as heck. South Korea to track and neutralize North Korean digital loot. Finally, someone's stepping up to stop the stealing. South Korea is drafting a new bill to track and freeze North Korean cryptocurrency assets in response to rising cybersecurity threats. A high-ranking official highlighted the urgent need for improvements in South Korea's existing cybersecurity framework. The new legislation introduces methods to track and neutralize digital assets acquired by North Korea through illicit activities. It's the NFT and crypto war we didn't know we wanted. In a swift response to rising cybersecurity threats, South Korea is drafting legislation to track and freeze North Korean cryptocurrency assets. The move comes amid revelations that North Korea pilfered around $1.28 billion in Bitcoin and Ethereum last year alone, as part of a larger haul exceeding $3 billion over the past 5 years. Yeah, there's some crazy like hacking groups that are built by the North Korean government. In North Korea, most people aren't allowed to use the internet or have any access to the outside world. They're all kind of like closed into the system, where if other than national TV, they don't really have a choice about anything to find out about the rest of the world. So they have to train these guys specifically to be hackers in order to do this. I wonder if all the funds go to the leader of the country or not. Binance's CZ stands firm amid regulatory challenges. Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao has remained resolute in the wake of regulatory scrutiny on his company. CZ predicts positive change on the horizon. FTX faced legal troubles, and CZ believes that critics are trying to cast Binance in a similar light. Despite the barrage of FUD, CZ asserts that Binance has demonstrated its strength by maintaining a substantial user base and market share. According to CZ, Binance has evolved into a more robust company today than it was 2 years ago. He also asserts that Binance is well ahead of the curve in terms of regulatory compliance. CZ's defense stands in contrast to the allegations made by the US SEC, which filed a lawsuit against Binance on June 5th. In the SEC's complaint, it is alleged that millions of company funds were transferred between entities owned by CZ in what the agency deems a wash trading scheme. The SEC further accuses Binance of operating as an unlicensed securities exchange and conducting illegal operations in the United States. The SEC is not the sole regulatory authority targeting Binance. On March 27th, the U.S. Commodities and Futures Trading Commission filed a lawsuit against Binance, alleging violations of U.S. trading and derivatives rules. Binance also faces legal scrutiny in Canada, Australia, and France for suspected regulatory violations. This has all been going on for quite some time, actually. But he predicts positive change on the horizon. He remains optimistic about the broader regulatory landscape for cryptocurrencies worldwide. He believes that positive regulatory developments are occurring in several countries, including France, Hong Kong, and Japan. In the United States, CZ pointed to recent court decisions favoring Ripple Labs and asset manager Grayscale as encouraging signs for the industry. CZ expressed his view that involving the courts in resolving regulatory questions might be unnecessary and suggested that more communication with U.S. officials could lead to more favorable regulatory approaches. Like teaching them how it works and how things should work, maybe. Shibarium network hits 1 million wallets despite challenges. Shiba Inu's Layer 2 blockchain Shibarium's reached a milestone figure of 1 million wallets. Tokens face challenges as volatility increases. So, for example, if you're new to crypto and you have no idea what Shibarium is or what Shiba Inu is, hola, Nordin Yuba, nice to have you with us. Then it might be a good idea to do some research before you start opening wallets and creating, like buying tokens and everything. Look it up, find out what it is, what the origins are, what's the story behind the team. For any project, you should find out what's the story behind the team, why did they build this, what problem were they trying to solve, and what's the competition like? Did they fork this off of something else? and then go figure out what the something else is and what's good about it, what's negative about it, etc. Nigeria takes top spot in global crypto awareness survey. Nigeria has emerged as the country with the highest level of crypto awareness in a recent consensus survey. Cryptocurrency trends beyond Nigeria. Report shows that 99% of Nigerians understand Web3. That's insane. How are there 1% that don't? I guess they're hospitalized or something. I don't know. That's crazy. 99%. That's nice. 98% of South Africans demonstrated a deeper understanding of Web3 than individuals in major economies such as the UK, the United States, Japan, and Germany. What sets Nigeria apart is not only awareness, but also active participation. A remarkable 76% of the Nigerian respondents indicated that they either currently hold or had previously owned cryptocurrencies. The most popular choices among these investors were Bitcoin and Ethereum, with Binance Coin, BNB, and Dogecoin ranking higher in ownership than the world's largest stablecoin, USDT. Looking forward, an impressive 90% of Nigerians expressed their intent to invest in cryptocurrencies over the next year. This strong interest could be attributed to the belief among 65% of respondents that cryptocurrencies serve as a hedge against hyperinflation and monetary devaluation, offering a sense of stability in a volatile economic landscape. These statistics are even more remarkable considering Nigeria's regulatory landscape. In February 2021, the Central Bank of Nigeria severed ties between cryptocurrency exchanges and local banks, casting uncertainty over the sector's future. However, the survey's findings reveal that 50% of Nigerian respondents believe that regulators should craft legislation that encourages crypto participation while safeguarding investors' interests. Beyond Nigeria's exceptional performance, the survey uncovered intriguing insights into other nations' cryptocurrency awareness and adoption. And it seems other countries are also growing in their understanding of crypto and jumping in. Let's see. Hello, anonymous user F8C88. Nice to have you with us. And Rajmi, hello. And Y122, hi to you too. All right. So Consensus made this survey. Survey. I think I found it. Crypto awareness. There it is. Actually, that's very interesting about Web3. They said 67% of respondents globally believe they should own the things they make on the internet. Only 38% said that they were adequately compensated for the value and creativity that they add to the internet. 92% of respondents globally have heard of crypto. Yeah, Nigeria was at 99%, but South Africa was at 98%. Let's see. Brazil was at 98%. Then we have Argentina, Mexico, the Philippines at 96%. The United States at 95%. And then, let's see, as well as France, Great Britain, or the UK. And then we have India and Indonesia at 93%. Then we have Germany at 89% and Japan at 83%. That's of males. Of females, 100% in Nigeria have heard of cryptocurrencies. That's fascinating. They must all be trying to date guys that know about crypto. I'm just saying. And then, so like 98% in South Africa and Brazil. This is kind of cool. So yeah, go check this out, this study, if you want more information on how people are thinking about crypto. It's on consensus. Bitfinex reveals strategic Bitcoin holdings amid market upswing. Bitfinex has disclosed that it holds Bitcoin as a long-term investment, although specific figures are not revealed. Paulo Arduino, Bitfinex's CTO, advocates for crypto exchanges to reinvest profits into Bitcoin, highlighting Bitfinex's commitment. Tether plans to allocate up to 15% of its profits to Bitcoin, shifting its reserves away from U.S. government debt. Interesting. China's economic roller coaster sparks policymaker alarm bells. The ebb and flow of China's economic status have not only kept global spectators on edge, but now alarm bells are resounding in the very halls where policymakers decide the nation's fate. It seems the dragon's economic vitality, once envied worldwide, is now treading on thin ice. Yeah, it looks pretty bad for China. What we said yesterday is that a lot of other economies are having issues because of the Chinese economic slowdown. Anticipations are building up around policy decisions in Canada, Australia, Malaysia, and Israel, among others. So it's having an effect on the rest of the world economy. Just like the US had problems in 2008, 2009, that had an effect on everybody else. Your weekly dose of Asia's crypto industry top events. Let's see, what do we have here? China recognizes virtual currency as property under criminal law, while Wuhan nullifies a mining contract. It's probably a Bitcoin mining contract. Hashkey exchange opens BTC to USD and ETH to USD trading in Hong Kong. South Korea mandates crypto exchange reserves for user compensation. Binance ponders exiting Russia. TRYB stablecoin pegged to Turkish lira surges in market cap. That's kind of a quick overview. Japan and India treading their own path. Binance Japan is bullish, aiming to triple its tradable cryptocurrencies. In contrast, India's crypto terrain appears less definitive. Though OKX is gearing up to enter the Indian market, India's regulatory landscape remains a puzzle, with no specific Web3 legislation in sight. Binance is contemplating a full exit from Russia. Laos, grappling with power shortages, is sidelining crypto miners. And Oman, they're diving deep, investing a staggering $800 million in crypto mining. That's the last week of Asian crypto news. Will Singapore's new president clamp down on crypto? What his election means for digital assets? There's actually a lot going on in Singapore, crypto-wise, this week. Tharman Shanmugaratnam, former chairman of the Monetary Authority of Singapore, won Singapore's presidential election with 70% of the vote. With a long career in finance and governance, including being shortlisted for the IMF's top job, Shanmugaratnam brings extensive experience to the presidency, but has expressed skepticism towards cryptocurrencies. His election could signal a more conservative approach to digital assets in Singapore, a nation otherwise known for its technological innovation, especially as it comes on the heels of regulatory changes and high court rulings on cryptocurrencies. The election results were confirmed on September 2nd, revealed that he defeated contenders Ng Kok Song and Tan Kin Lian, setting the stage for his swearing-in ceremony on September 14th, so in 9 days. So he's done a lot in finance. Let's look at his skepticism about cryptocurrencies. He labeled them highly risky and slightly crazy in various public statements. These comments have drawn attention, especially given that MAS granted in principle approval for Crypto.com to operate in Singapore in June 2022. Moreover, the financial regulator announced a revised framework for stablecoins as part of a public consultation launched last year. So we'll see if this has anything to do with future regulations or anything with crypto. Australian Senate committee rejects landmark crypto bill, sparks debate on digital asset regulation. The Australian Senate Committee on Economics Legislation recommended against passing the Digital Assets Market Regulation Bill 2023, introduced by opposition Senator Andrew Bragg, which aimed to establish a comprehensive framework for digital assets. A dissenting report from Senators Bragg and Dean Smith suggested minor amendments to the bill and urged for its passage, emphasizing the need for a structured approach to digital asset regulation and tax treatment in Australia. The committee's decision has sparked a debate on the future of crypto regulation in Australia, with the dissenting report arguing that the current government approach is detrimental to customers, to consumers, and investment in the digital asset sector. So we'll see how it goes. China is criticizing the U.S.'s strategies harshly, of course. Not surprising. Recent maneuvers from the U.S. with its blend of diplomacy and containment are drawing the ire of China's formidable intelligence arm. The looming question now is whether this brewing tension jeopardizes the anticipated November summit between the two superpowers. China's Ministry of State Security, MSS, I was going to read that, Ministry of State Secrets, but, which sounds funnier, but yeah, it's the Ministry of State Security, has delivered its most trenchant response yet, with a series of American officials, including U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo, knocking on Beijing's doors recently. The narrative from Washington remains consistent. The Biden administration isn't attempting to throttle China's progression to strive for a disentanglement. Yet the Chinese ministry swiftly countered this narrative by equating it to old wine in new bottles, alluding to the continued U.S. endorsement of arms deals and financial backing to Taiwan, a region over which China has long asserted its sovereignty. However, the MSS didn't stop at Taiwan. They went further, alleging the U.S. of sowing discord in areas like the South China Sea and Tibet. Moreover, there's the underlying issue of the U.S.'s denunciation of what they termed as the forceful assimilation of a significant Tibetan child population into government-overseen boarding institutions. Coupled with these geopolitical tussles, China took umbrage at the U.S.'s negative portrayal of the Chinese economic landscape. The recent label by President Joe Biden depicting China as a ticking time bomb, owing to its decelerated economic expansion, hasn't gone unnoticed in Beijing. Now, all eyes are fixated on the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum set to take place in San Francisco this November. This event could witness the first face-to-face interaction between President Xi Jinping and Biden since their last rendezvous at the G20 in Bali. However, there's an air of uncertainty. The MSS's stance is unambiguous. For genuine progression from Bali to San Francisco, the U.S. must exhibit genuine earnestness. I think the U.S. has been pretty clear that they won't accept China taking over Taiwan. So, also, Taiwan's having elections fairly soon. I should say the Republic of China, which is the official name of Taiwan, is having elections soon, and the Democratic, what is it? The DPP, so the Green Party, is probably going to win again. And they've been wanting to change the name from Republic of China to Taiwan and basically say that they aren't China, that they're their own country, and they want nothing to do with these Chinese politics. So we'll see how that goes. So when I say China, I mean the People's Republic of China, which is Beijing, has said for a long time now that if Taipei, which is Taiwan, does that, they would see it as the region trying to break away from China and declare war on it to keep it in line. So that's kind of a strange situation when a country has de facto independence but is officially considers itself to own a whole nother country, and that country also considers that it owns that one. It's a very unique situation over there, and the Chinese government has told so Xi Jinping actually told his military to be ready for war 9 months ago, almost a year ago. So this is all kind of coming to a head in that sense. It's possible that they looked at other things happening in the world and decided not to go ahead with that. That might be what's going on there. So all of this, like, oh, the U.S. isn't being honest or earnest or whatever, is just kind of funny when you know what's going on at the same time outside the economic discussions. Europe wins the inflation pageant, beating the US. So how's inflation in Europe going? While many nations rally to celebrate their achievements, Europe finds itself in the limelight for a rather unwelcome reason. Their persistence with inflation stands out, and not in a way that invites applause. In a contest no country wants to win, Europe seems to be taking the lead, standing out starkly against the US. Let's get something straight. Europe's inflation issue isn't just some fleeting minor inconvenience. It's a stickier, more tenacious problem, making the US's inflationary concerns look like child's play in comparison. As the US basks in the comfort of declining consumer price inflation, Europe grapples with a significantly more pronounced rate. It's interesting, and not in a good way, that while the US celebrates a 2.1% annualized expansion, suggesting a possible gentle economic descent or a soft landing, Europe is wrestling with economic slowdown. The glow of wage growth in the UK and several Eurozone nations might seem like a silver lining, especially when it outpaces the US. But if you scratch the surface, you find it's just another indicator of the undercurrents of inflationary pressure. Europe's having energy issues. Think of it as a wild party once you thought was a good idea, but quickly spiraled out of control. Natural gas prices, particularly in Europe, are surging to staggering heights, equivalent to a whopping $600 a barrel when compared to oil prices. And the global economic discussions haven't quite grasped the depth of this hike. With energy price jumps like these, it's no wonder that Europe's inflation saga continues. The repercussions aren't just limited to numbers on a chart, they are palpable. Businesses and households in Europe find themselves on the ropes, striving harder than their American counterparts to fend off the adverse effects of inflation. With every passing day, inflation digs its heels deeper into the European economy. So as far as the energy situation in Europe, I actually live on the European continent, so I have a few ideas on what's going on there. What happened to Europe is too many countries in Europe decided that they were going to be completely dependent on certain other countries for their energy and use natural gas. Specifically, Germany wanted to use natural gas and wind power to move away from nuclear power and move towards other renewable energies methods over time. Except when you trust another country to take care of your energy problems, you're giving that other country way too much power. In this case, for Germany, it was Russia that they were completely reliant on when it came to natural gas. And that was a problem since Russia was using that to kind of force Germany to let Russia do whatever they wanted to do. Except they didn't realize that Germany was willing to give it up if it meant saving their kind of European dream. Let's put it that way. So yeah, this is where we are because a bunch of leaders a while ago thought that in the name of green energy and the environment, they could make some, they could lose some sovereignty and it would be fine over their energy. But as we're seeing more and more since the coronavirus pandemic, if you don't have alternative, okay, so there's different levels of like economic security. If you don't make it yourself, then you need multiple options of trade partners that make it with as reliable as possible means of bringing it to your market, right? And Germany was reliant on one provider instead of several, and so now they have to rebuild all the infrastructure if they want it to be different and to be able to rely on more. So it's a bit complicated, and their entire car was like an explosion outside. Their entire automobile industry production was kind of based off of this specific type of natural gas. So now they have to either change the way they do everything or move their production to somewhere that has that available. So I've seen some things move to Louisiana in the US, for example, but that takes a lot of time. Infrastructure is the most difficult thing to build up. It takes a lot of time. Germany's troubles are causing a rightward shift in Europe. getting into the politics of it. Germany, once a European economic powerhouse, is facing economic and political challenges. The country's automobile industry, crucial to its exports, is struggling, and I explained why already. Germany's ambitious goal to become carbon neutral by 2045 is seen by some as overzealous. Yeah. Let's see. What else do we have? It sees a distinct rightward lean, signifying growing public discontent. Not necessarily. It depends on what rightward lean. Yeah. So this talking about okay. Last year, cars were the prime item shipped out of the country, contributing a whopping 15.6% to the total export value. I mean, Germany's famous for cars. You have Volkswagen, Audi, Mercedes, BMW, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? It's like so many car companies. That's no small feat for an industry. Yet in May 2022, Germany found itself in unfamiliar territory, reporting a foreign trade deficit for the first time in decades. Even though there has been a rebound, with the country reporting a trade surplus of 18.7 billion euros in June 2023, its exports are still treading water. So their issues don't stop at cars, especially if their goal is to be carbon neutral by 2045. Europe attempting to distance itself from Russian gas after Russia invaded Ukraine. Germany's vision of shifting from Russian gas seems not just ambitious, but bordering on fantasy for some. The emphasis on renewable technologies, especially wind and solar, isn't without its problems. These sources, albeit green, are fickle. They're not consistent, and this inconsistency could spell trouble for industries that rely on steady power supplies. So Germany gets a lot of its energy from France, which runs nuclear power plants, but they turned off a few, which is a whole nother story. I grew up in France, so I know a little bit about this. And then last winter, they had, for the first time in a long time, they had to turn off a whole bunch of reactors at the same time to do maintenance, which was a really bad timing to do it, because that was right when Germany found itself without its natural gas options all of a sudden. So, and I mean, Russia was hoping Europe would be cold and people would give up supporting Ukraine and stop defending it because of that. But we had a really warm winter relative to other years, so it wasn't that much of a problem, thankfully. So that's a thing. That's a whole thing of its own. There's a clear danger here. If energy costs in Germany soar, industries might look elsewhere. Locations where gas and electricity are cheaper, like the US or Saudi Arabia, could become more appealing. Except Saudi Arabia is becoming closer and closer with Iran and Russia as well. So it's not necessarily a safe place to build up a factory or a whole production line if you know it takes several years to set up and you're not sure which way they're going to lean politically or regulatory, or if they're going to be friendly with the country that you work in and that owns your, or that your company is built out of. It's probably a safer bet to go with the US, which is why they're going with Louisiana mostly. While some believe that the current policy and economic hiccups won't stymie Germany for long, the damage for now is evident. Germany will be fine eventually, it always is. Germany is at a crossroads. Its economic challenges are real and its political landscape is shifting. How so? The surge in popularity of the right-leaning Alternative for Germany party is a testament to this shift. That's been going on for a while, but it's not because of it's partly because of green energy, but it's mostly because of the invitation of migrants from the Middle East that's happening. That's been happening for a long time in a steady way. That's interesting. Copycat epidemic plagues the crypto world. Crypto's open source ethos faces exploitation challenges. Open source origins aimed at software freedom now often misused. Numerous projects now just mirror successful ventures. Meme coins often mask hidden questionable intentions. So actually, I've seen this. So because there are so many open source projects, in 2019 and 2020, I had so many people come to me and say, "Hey, can you build a pancake swap or a Uniswap for $2,000?" That was the most common request I had for 6 months. And the thing is, they didn't realize that it's not just you change a few things on the front end and it just works. That's not exactly how it works. If you're not improving anything, if you're not doing marketing, if you're not, it's not going to, your project's going to die. So there's no point. And they just wouldn't understand that you can't build a successful product and get it to market in crypto with $2,000. That's just not enough. So that was kind of crazy. Hi, Syed Sadiq Ali and Binance user 78AF0 and Wissam993. Nice to have you guys with us. The SEC's last chance to salvage reputation after many embarrassments. The SEC is at a pivotal moment after numerous setbacks in the crypto arena. Michael Anderson predicts a strategic communication shift from the SEC, signaling their control over the crypto industry. Wall Street joins in the criticism, with many seeing the SEC's actions as power grabs. Yeah, I think Gary Gensler's time at the SEC is being counted at this point. Also, if the elections go any way that's not in Biden's favor, he's probably going to lose his job regardless. Harvard expert warns metaverse tax avoidance could thrive. Harvard's Christine Kim highlights potential tax evasion in the metaverse. Metaverse's wealth accumulation needs a fitting tax code to prevent misuse. Kim proposes immediate taxation on all metaverse income, even unrealized gains. 2 enforcement methods: platforms withholding taxes or residence taxation. So there are several things that don't make sense with this. First of all, we saw that people that invested in metaverses lost, was 99%, 95% of the money they originally put in. We saw that yesterday. So that's a very theoretical thing to look at, but not surprising coming from a university researcher or academic. Sanctions drive BRICS unity as Russia relations deepen. Okay, let's take a look at this. Western sanctions against Russia have unintentionally strengthened ties among BRICS nations. BRICS, originally consisting of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, recently expanded to include several new members that will join in January, so they haven't joined yet. Post-sanctions, India and China have increased Russian oil imports and explored payment methods outside of the US dollar. That's because Russia needs alternative payment methods, and they need to sell oil in order to keep the government running. So, and they can get cheap oil. I remember India saying they'll get cheap oil if they can, and China would do the same. European Central Bank chief economist remains optimistic about inflation coming down. Philip Lane, the chief economist of the European Central Bank, has expressed cautious optimism regarding the slowdown of inflation. The European Central Bank is deliberating whether to proceed with another interest rate hike on September the 14th, 9 days, potentially the last in the current tightening cycle. We'll see how that goes. Reserve Bank of Australia maintains interest rate at 4.1% while inflation remains elevated. They've decided for the 3rd consecutive month not to raise the interest rate. Casio collaborates with Polygon Labs to launch virtual G-Shock NFTs on Polygon. G-Shock is a type of watch, right? Casio partners with Polygon Labs to introduce G-Shock NFTs, starting with a Creator Pass collection. Community engagement, global accessibility, and Polygon's blockchain expertise drive Casio's entry into the NFT space. Starting September the 23rd, enthusiasts and G-Shock fans can claim one of 15,000 NFT-based G-Shock Creator Passes. These passes provide access to a dedicated Discord channel created exclusively for the project, fostering community and collaboration among NFT owners. Casio customers who have previously registered for Casio ID on the company's membership site will enjoy exclusive access from September 23rd to September 26th during the pre-distribution stage. Following this initial period, a public distribution phase will commence from September 26th to September 29th, allowing a broader audience to acquire these unique NFTs. So that's interesting. So Casio's NFT collection will be available to residents of several countries, including the United States, the United Kingdom, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Spain, Portugal, Austria, Japan, India, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, the Philippines, and Vietnam. That's a lot of different places. So if you're in one of those places, maybe check out the Casio system. Dogecoin community rallies behind Elon Musk and X in battle against ADL. Dogecoin community rallies behind Elon Musk and X against ADL's perceived threat to free speech. Musk prepares to file a defamation lawsuit, and a change.org petition gains traction as Doge's price rebounds amid the controversy. So it's against the Anti-Defamation League over free speech issues. The controversy revolves around allegations that ADL's actions have negatively impacted advertising revenue on the platform, prompting Musk to consider a defamation lawsuit against the International Jewish Non-Governmental Organization. One is right to take it to court. We'll see how it goes. SwiftX launches Earn and Learn program to educate Australians about crypto scams. Do they give you some money and then scam you? Is that the SwiftX introduces the Earn and Learn platform in response to increasing crypto scams, offering courses to educate and protect users. Participants can earn rewards for completing courses with up to $64.30 available over 12 months, aiming to equip 80,000 Australians with vital crypto knowledge. Oh, that's interesting. It's one way to do it. Traditional finance exchanges split on crypto adoption. Let's see. A recent survey by the World Federation of Exchanges, WFE, reveals a divided stance among traditional finance exchanges on adopting crypto services, with 41% already offering such services and over a third having no plans to do so. The World Federation of Exchanges research is part of a broader study to understand crypto market infrastructures, examining aspects like liquidity provision, price discovery, and regulatory concerns such as anti-money laundering and investor protection. The survey indicates a cautious optimism among traditional finance exchanges about embracing crypto services, but also highlights prevailing concerns about regulatory uncertainties and market stability. We'll see how that goes. So let's see if anything new came in. Nope. All right, let's take a look at the qu'est-ce 5. High Domino 741, Lee Totomaso, Parziva 1, Wissam 993. How's everybody doing? About to check out CoinMarketCap and take a look at today's prices. Let's look at the Fear and Greed Index. It's at 35, just like it was yesterday. So we got the top cryptos right now. By the way, if you're new to crypto, this is a good website to check out just to see how big certain projects are or how well known they are, or what the prices are and kind of how the names of them, so you can look them up. It's a pretty good place to go. So the Bitcoin, obviously, start with that. It's $25,739.55. Down 1.22% in the last 7 days, down almost 0.60% in the last 24 hours. Ethereum, $1,630.88, down 0.15% in the last 24 hours. BNB at $214.64, down 0.58% in the last 24 hours. XRP is at 50 cents 21, down 0.18% in the last 24 hours. Dogecoin is up almost 1%, up 0.94% to 6 cents 388. I think that's what we were talking about. And then Cardano's ADA is down 0.20% to 25 cents 63. Solana Sol is at $19.83, up 1.32% in the last 24 hours. All right. Going to see who the biggest winners are in the last 24 hours. So Stacks up 5% in the last 24 hours, up 5.49% in the last 7 days, and up 2.10% in the last hour to 47 cents 66. Rune from Thorchain is up 4.04% to $1.50 in the last 24 hours. SafePal is up 3.50% in the last 24 hours to 58 cents 22. Yeah, I'll read the next ones that are up more than 1%, 1.5%, and talk about those. Neo is up 2.63% to $7.21. Aster is up 2.49% to 5 cents 468. And Synthetics SNX is at up 1.54% to $2.20. We're the biggest losers in the last 24 hours. Ton from Toncoin is down 6.72% to $1.77. Mantle is down 4.05% to 42 cents 94. Myota is down 4.08% to 16 cents 6. And Rocket Pool is down 3.18% to $23.35. So that's that for the biggest winners and losers in the last few days. Hi, Eunice, 11/22/34, and Jihat 78/8/17. Nice to have you guys with us. So that's it, I think, for the news today. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to like video. That tells me that you actually listened and enjoyed it, and subscribe if you'd like to get more news like this every time we go live. If you're subscribed, you'll get a notification. Thanks a lot. Have a great what's today? Wednesday? Tuesday. Have a great Tuesday. Sorry about that. The middle of the week all seems the same to me sometimes. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.